In a world where beast taming had become a global phenomenon, a young man named Yang Yang transmigrated from another world. 5 years had passed since his arrival, and today marked the moment he had been waiting for, the day he would finally use the wishing stone that came with him. His goal was clear: to awaken the strongest beast seal. Just 20 minutes before the awakening ceremony began, a teacher stood before the assembled students and explained the hierarchy of beast seals. From highest to lowest, they were divine, immortal, heaven, earth, yellow, profound. The number of light pillars that appeared during the awakening determined the seal's grade. The more pillars, the higher the grade. After the explanation, the teacher began calling out names, sending the students into the awakening formation one by one. The first student entered and managed to awaken a yellow grade seal with an E-rank talent. Disappointed, he burst into tears, but the teacher offered some encouragement and moved on to the next name. Fan Tong. Fan Tong entered the formation but awakened only a mortal grade seal with no talent at all. Stunned, he couldn't believe he had received the lowest possible result. More students followed, each stepping into the formation. Most awakened low-grade seals, and while a few managed to reach mid-tier, none showed any truly exceptional talent. Eventually, it was Zhou Ying's turn, the school's renowned beauty and the eldest daughter of the prestigious Zhou family. For years, she had seen Yang Yang as her rival, frustrated by the fact that he always seemed one step ahead. Today, she was determined to prove her superiority. Among the students, Yang Yang's friend nudged him and teased, "The school goddess is glaring at you again." Yang Yang raised an eyebrow, confused. He hadn't even spoken to her. So why the hostility? Before he could dwell on it, his friend asked, "What grade of beast seal do you think you'll awaken?" Yang Yang replied confidently, "No matter what, I will awaken a divine grade seal." Laughter erupted around him. "Some people really dare to say anything," one student scoffed. "Just because he's good at theory doesn't mean he can awaken a top-tier seal. In all of Longguo's history, fewer than 10 people have ever awakened a divine grade seal," another added. "What a boast." Yang Yang remained unfazed by their mockery. Standing nearby, Instructor Zhang Guofu from Class A overheard the conversation and turned to Old Su, Yang Yang's class instructor. "That Yang Yang of yours isn't very talented," he remarked, "but he sure knows how to brag." Old Su, however, defended his student. Considering his top scores in the mock exams, it's not entirely impossible for him to awaken a divine grade beast mark. Zhang Guofu laughed. "I've already looked into him. Yang Yang's an orphan. His parents were nobodies without any talent. Even though his sister Yang Bing shocked everyone by awakening a divine grade seal, she's adopted. No blood relation." He continued proudly, "But my student Zhou Ying? She'll definitely shine." As Zhou Ying stepped into the formation, the crowd erupted in excitement. Despite always ranking second in the class, she was a favorite among the academy and the community. As the formation activated, 7 radiant beams of light shot into the sky. Gasps echoed across the crowd. Yang Yang's friend stood in disbelief. Zhou Ying had truly awakened a divine-grade beast seal. Suddenly, a mystical phenomenon appeared in the sky, a black phoenix. The legendary beast had not been summoned in over 200 years. It had returned. The instructor, nearly overwhelmed with excitement, announced, "Zhou Ying has awakened a divine-grade beast seal with double S-rank talent." The crowd burst into applause. With her black phoenix, Zhou Ying was guaranteed a recommendation to Tianlong Academy. She might even go down in history. The instructor approached her and offered heartfelt praise. "The future of Longguo rests on talents like yours." Zhou Ying respectfully thanked him and promised to continue striving to grow stronger. At last, it was Yang Yang's turn. The instructor called his name, and Yang Yang stepped forward to enter the awakening formation. As he passed Zhou Ying, she turned to him with a confident smirk. "This time, I'll definitely win." Yang Yang smiled calmly and replied, "Don't get overconfident too soon." Meanwhile, Zhang Guofu laughed mockingly and turned to Old Su, saying, "I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of trash beast seal your class's top student will awaken." Old Su clenched his fists in frustration, but chose not to respond. As the others mocked and whispered, Yang Yang stepped into the awakening formation. The moment the process began, a stunning phenomenon occurred. All 12 awakening stones lit up at once. The entire hall gasped in disbelief. The students who had been laughing at Yang Yang earlier stood frozen. How could someone from such a poor background light up all 12 stones? Even Zhou Ying was astonished. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. But that wasn't all. The sky began to rumble, and phantoms of countless beasts appeared overhead. Spectators stared upward, shocked by the overwhelming number of beast images. Then, realization dawned. This is the sign of a beast seal forming. But even then, many still doubted. Could Yang Yang really have succeeded? Even Yang Yang himself was stunned. He looked around in confusion, wondering, where is my beast seal? Suddenly, a scroll-like object appeared, floating in the air before him. It glowed with a mysterious aura, then swiftly flew toward Yang Yang and vanished into his body. Startled, he instinctively closed his eyes, and when he opened them, a red system window appeared before him. You have awakened the beast seal, classic of mountains and seas. With this seal, you can summon creatures recorded in the ancient text at random. Yang Yang blinked in confusion. Classic of mountains and seas? What is that? As he tried to gather his thoughts, another system message appeared. You currently have no contract monster. You may summon one from the classic of mountains and seas. Meanwhile, outside the formation, the instructors were just as bewildered. What's going on? One of them muttered, frowning. They checked the awakening results. No contract monster. Ah, so it's just another trash talent, someone concluded. The lead instructor stepped forward and loudly declared, Yang Yang has awakened a divine-grade beast seal, but it's an ancient book, a trash seal with SSS rank talent. A long silence followed. The crowd didn't know how to react. Then, laughter broke out. They couldn't believe it. After all that spectacle, Yang Yang had awakened a broken book. Zhang Guofu burst out laughing. Old Su, you made such a fuss, and it turns out your boy awakened a book, he mocked. Is he planning to throw literature at the enemy? A broken book fits that bookworm perfectly. Yang Yang quietly descended from the formation platform, deep in thought about his seal. Old Su approached him and placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Don't take their words to heart, he said kindly. Awakening a beast seal is mostly luck. With your talent, even without a summoned beast, you can still achieve great things. Yang Yang nodded, grateful. Thank you, Instructor Su. With those words, he left for home, determined to study his seal and understand its power. But as he walked away, his classmates resumed their mockery. Some called him a street dog, while others repeated the very words he had once said proudly. I will awaken the strongest beast seal. Despite the insults, Yang Yang remained calm. He knew the truth of the world he lived in. This was an era of disasters, where wormhole dungeons erupted across the globe, unleashing unspeakable horrors. Every student, a week before the college entrance examination, had to undergo beast seal awakening. Only those who became beast masters, summoning powerful monsters, could resist the disasters emerging from these wormholes. In Country 1, someone had summoned Yamata no Orochi, sweeping through every dungeon within their borders. In Country K, the summoned beast Guishan had dispelled the fog-shrouded forbidden zones. In Country M, the mysterious beast Venom led the charge to annex weaker nations. But in Longguo, Yang Yang's homeland, the break in ancient civilization had resulted in the loss of monster totems from the National Destiny Temple. Now, beastmasters there couldn't summon powerful creatures. Once a mighty Eastern Titan, Longguo had become a global joke. Yet Yang Yang knew this wasn't the time to think about national decline. Without wasting a moment, he made his way to a quiet, isolated place where no one could see him. It was time to discover the truth behind his so-called trash seal. After reaching the secluded spot, Yang Yang opened his system's status panel, and what he saw stunned him. His so-called trash beast seal wasn't just divine grade, it was actually a super divine grade. No wonder the instructors and students had never seen it before. They had misjudged it, labeling it as a worthless ancient book. Now, since Yang Yang had no contract beast yet, the system prompted him with new information. You can summon creatures randomly from the classic of mountains and seas. Once summoned, the creature will take all damage on behalf of the Beastmaster, as long as it remains alive. Yang Yang's eyes widened in awe. This changes everything. With such a feature, he could completely avoid scenarios where a Beastmaster gets ambushed and instantly killed. His survival rate would skyrocket. Next, he checked his SSS grade talent. His talent was Divine Encouragement at level 1. Its effect was that it increases both master and servant's ability values by 10 times. Yang Yang was speechless. A 10-fold increase at just level 1. This is overpowered. A talent like that, paired with a super divine grade beast seal. Yang Yang knew it wouldn't be long before he soared past everyone else. At that moment, the system popped up with a prompt. Would you like to summon your first contract beast? A confident smile appeared on Yang Yang's face. Yes, he said, gently clicking the confirmation. Suddenly, the space beside him distorted with a brilliant flash of light, and a mighty creature emerged from within. He had successfully summoned a 3S-grade monster Zhulong. The stats appeared instantly with 1,000 average strength, agility, spirit, and 2,000 constitution. Its passive skill are Dragon's Might that intimidates enemies up to 5 levels higher. reducing their strength by 20%. And its active skill is Zhulong's breath that unleashes a searing beam of light, dealing area of effect damage equal to 300% of spirit. Its second active skill is Dragon's Roar, emits a heaven-shaking roar, dealing AoE damage equal to 300% of strength. Yang Yang stood in stunned silence. These abilities, they're terrifying. Not only could Zhulong reduce enemy stats, it also possessed 2 high-damage AoE attacks. Even more shocking were the base stats, starting at 1,000 across the board, and 2,000 constitution. Yang Yang recalled that even the strongest level 1 monsters typically had no more than 100 points in a single attribute. Was this the power of his divine encouragement talent amplifying everything tenfold? Raising his hand, Yang Yang looked at the magnificent dragon beast before him and spoke firmly. Zhulong, acknowledge me as your master. Meanwhile, at the National Destiny Temple, something extraordinary occurred. The moment Yang Yang summoned Zhulong, his 3 S-grade totem appeared within the ancient temple, a phenomenon unseen for years. A temple observer monitoring the altar witnessed the emergence of the totem and was stunned. Without delay, he rushed to report the incident to the higher-ups. The National Destiny Temple has just detected a 3 S-grade totem, he exclaimed. The senior officials were speechless. It had been ages since Longguo's ancient heritage had produced anything of such magnitude. The appearance of a 3 S-grade monster seemed impossible in this era. However, a white-haired elder, calm and wise, spoke up. Don't get excited yet. Come with me. We must confirm it ourselves. They hurried to the heart of the temple, and there, they saw it. The unmistakable aura of a 3 S-grade totem, still glowing. This is real, one of them muttered. It truly is a 3 S-grade totem. And look, another added. The national destiny value has increased by 1,000 points. The white-haired elder's expression grew serious. Send people immediately. I don't care if you have to dig 3 feet into the ground. Find out who summoned this monster. The next day, at the novice dungeon waiting area, students were gathered, preparing to enter the dungeon to level up. Yang Yang's classmates were also present, chatting about the upcoming battle trials. His friend walked over and asked, "Hey, do you want to team up? It'll be easier." But Yang Yang shook his head. "I'm going solo." His friend stared at him in disbelief. "Are you crazy?" Hearing this, the surrounding students burst into laughter. "Solo? What's he going to do? Read his classic of mountains and seas at the monsters until they die? Is that trash beast seal gonna grow legs and carry him away?" Someone else mocked. Another chimed in. "How's he planning to fight with that useless book?" Yang Yang's friend leaned in and whispered in frustration, "I came here just to carry you through this dungeon. Why are you being so unreasonable?" Just then, Zhou Ying approached from behind. "If you're worried about difficulty," she said coolly, "you can team up with me. I'll carry you through without any problem." But Yang Yang declined her offer as well. "Teaming up slows down experience gain," he said simply. Zhou Ying narrowed her eyes. "I have a divine-grade beast seal. How would leveling up with me slow you down?" Then, as realization struck her, her expression changed. "He's trying to level up quickly. Is he aiming for Tianlong Academy?" The other students overheard and began laughing again. "This guy wants to apply to Tianlong Academy? With a trash seal like that? Does he even know the minimum requirement is level 10? Zhou Ying stepped forward, her pride stung. "Since we're both aiming for Tianlong Academy, do you dare to compete and see who levels up faster?" Yang Yang smiled confidently. "Sure. I'll be waiting at the finish line." With that, he entered the dungeon. Zhou Ying clenched her fists in frustration, but quickly calmed herself and followed him into the dungeon. Inside, she summoned her Black Phoenix. Moments later, a level 2 horned horse appeared. Despite her beast being only level 1, it was still a divine-grade beast seal. She issued a command, Phoenix Strike. With a brilliant flash, the Black Phoenix struck down the monster instantly. Feeling her confidence return, Zhou Ying smirked. "There's no way anyone can farm faster than me." At the same time, Yang Yang, upon entering the dungeon, immediately encountered a level 3 wolf pack, a dangerous foe, especially as a first encounter. If it were anyone else, they'd be overwhelmed right now. But Yang Yang had 2 major advantages: area of effect skills, and a tank-like monster that absorbed damage for him. Without hesitation, he summoned Zhulong. "Zhulong, use Zhulong's breath." A powerful beam of blazing light erupted from the dragon's mouth, instantly incinerating the entire wolf pack. One move, Yang Yang thought, and they're all gone. He watched as the experience points flooded in. He had already reached level 3. The classic of mountains and seas also revealed something new. It had 3 monster slots. If he could summon another beast, his farming speed would increase even more. Unfortunately, his spirit energy regenerated only 10 points per day, and summoning required 100 points. So for now, I can only rely on Zhulong. but that's more than enough. Clenching his fists with determination, Yang Yang muttered, I need to reach level 10 as soon as possible. After clearing out the level 3 wolf pack, Yang Yang began gathering the dropped loot, but just as he bent down, a chilling presence appeared behind him. A level 5 wild wolf king. Faster, stronger, and more aggressive than the rest, the Wolf King was notorious among beginners. Most novice beastmasters would flee at the mere sight of it. Unfortunately for the beast, it had encountered Yang Yang. Zhulong, take it down, Yang Yang commanded without hesitation. Zhulong launched an immediate attack, but the Wolf King swiftly dodged, causing Yang Yang to widen his eyes in surprise. As expected, this beast lives up to its reputation as the newbie killer. It's not surprising it avoided Zhulong's attack. With a feral growl, the Wolf King leapt high into the air, lunging straight for Yang Yang. But Yang Yang didn't flinch. Zhulong, use Dragon's Roar. A thunderous sound erupted as Zhulong unleashed his mighty roar. Though the skill's area of effect was only 10 meters, the Wolf King had closed the gap on its own, and that proved to be a fatal mistake. The shockwave hit with devastating force, instantly killing the Wolf King. From the defeated monster, Yang Yang obtained a rare item, a spirit energy stone. His eyes lit up. Teacher Su once mentioned that this can restore spirit energy. Without hesitation, Yang Yang ordered the system to use it. A moment later, his spirit energy was fully restored to 100 points. Grinning, Yang Yang didn't waste a second. System, he said, summon another monster. The sky darkened, and a blinding pillar of light formed before him. As the glow faded, a massive creature emerged. An SS-grade classic of mountains and seas monster, the dragon turtle. Yang Yang was shocked. Are all the monsters from the classic of mountains and seas this powerful? Though its four-dimensional attributes weren't as monstrous as Zhulong's SSS-grade stats, the dragon turtle excelled in high constitution, physical resistance, and came with damage reduction skills. Most importantly, it possessed an active skill, a perfect match, Yang Yang thought. The dragon turtle can draw aggro, while Zhulong deals massive area damage. This combo is incredible. Meanwhile, at the National Destiny Temple, chaos erupted once again. The man in charge of monitoring the temple's totem platform burst into the advisor's chamber. Another new totem has appeared. The senior advisors turned, stunned. Another one? What grade is it this time? The man swallowed nervously. SS grade. And the national destiny value just increased by 500 points. Shock rippled through the room. 2 days in a row? One advisor muttered in disbelief. And both are above S grade. The man continued. According to the data, both of these monsters were summoned by a novice beastmaster who isn't even level 10. The room fell silent. A novice? Someone repeated. Not even level 10, and he's summoned monsters of this caliber. Back at Yang Yang's school, a female instructor approached Teacher Su. I heard from the students that Yang Yang entered the novice dungeon to level up. Is that true? A few teachers nearby overheard and burst out laughing. With that trash beast seal that can't even summon a monster? He went into the dungeon? He must have a death wish. Teacher Su frowned but responded calmly. I've heard from a few students. He may actually be able to summon monsters. The others scoffed. What kind of monsters could he possibly summon? A walking book? Maybe it'll sprout legs and carry him out. Teacher Su had no words. He simply turned away and whispered a silent prayer. Yang Yang, it seems you haven't given up yet. I just hope you come back safely. Just then, a man in a formal Beastmaster uniform walked toward the teachers. It was Zhou Jianhua, the president of the Sub-North City Beastmaster Alliance branch, and Zhou Ying's father. Zhang Guofu stepped forward respectfully. President Zhou, have you come to see your daughter's dungeon results today? The trial hasn't ended yet. You'll need to wait a little while longer. But before anyone could respond, the gate of the novice dungeon suddenly opened, and someone began stepping out. With a proud smile, one of the teachers congratulated Zhou Jianhua. Looks like your daughter is the first to come out. As expected of a prodigy. However, to everyone's surprise, the first person to emerge was not Zhou Ying, but Yang Yang. Even Teacher Su looked confused. Yang Yang, why did you come out early? Yang Yang scratched his head awkwardly. I'm not exactly sure either. I was fighting monsters. Then suddenly the system notified me that I'd cleared the dungeon and I was forcibly ejected. He went on to explain. I had just reached level 5 and was heading toward the level 10 monster spawn zone when a level 10 Savage King appeared out of nowhere. Zhulong used a single breath and accidentally killed it, and the next moment, I was kicked out. Hearing this, Zhang Guofu stepped forward, skeptical. That's not possible. In all previous years, even the most talented students needed at least 2 full days to clear the novice dungeon. But as he examined Yang Yang more closely, he saw the system interface above his head displaying level 5. Both Teacher Su and President Zhou were stunned. How did you reach level 5 so quickly? Zhang Guofu asked. Your beast seal is just a broken book. What kind of monster did you even summon? Yang Yang was just about to reveal the truth when Teacher Su stepped in quickly from behind. You must be exhausted after battling all day, Su said loudly, placing a firm hand on Yang Yang's shoulder. Come on, let's get you some rest. He leaned in and whispered in Yang Yang's ear. No matter what, don't reveal your summoned monsters to anyone until the college entrance exam. Yang Yang gave a subtle nod and thanked him quietly before walking off. President Zhou watched Yang Yang from behind, deep in thought. In recent years, the only one in Longguo who cleared the novice dungeon on the first day was the prodigy, Yang Bing. But even she exited just 2 minutes before the dungeon closed. Yet this boy came out a whole hour early. The gap is terrifying. Half an hour later, Zhou Ying emerged from the dungeon, having successfully reached level 4. Other students gradually followed. Some had managed to reach level 2, while others hadn't even gained a full level's worth of experience. Zhou Ying, however, was scanning the area restlessly. Her father noticed. Who are you looking for? She turned to him and asked, Have you seen Yang Yang? President Zhou nodded. He already reached level 5 and cleared the dungeon an hour ago. He's long gone. Zhou Ying's eyes widened in disbelief. An hour early, and he's already level 5. She stood still. How is that even possible? The next day, Yang Yang stood outside the novice dungeon again, eyes filled with determination. There are still 5 days until the college entrance exam. No matter what, I have to reach level 7 today. As word of his astonishing progress spread, his classmates began to gather around him. Yang Yang, carry me through the dungeon, please. Just one run with you. Some of the girls even tried to flirt or seduce him, hoping to win favor. But Yang Yang shrugged them off. Sorry, I'm not interested. A few of them scoffed in frustration, saying, just because he got a little praise, he thinks he's a genius? Yeah, he's only riding on his SSS grade talent. From nearby, Zhou Ying overheard the conversation. Her expression turned unreadable as she watched Yang Yang walk off again. Focused, driven, and completely unfazed. Meanwhile, Yang Yang entered the novice dungeon once again. This time, the terrain was different. The monsters were more scattered across the area. Perfect, he thought. A great opportunity to test out the dragon turtle's skills. He immediately summoned the dragon turtle and ordered it to use its taunt skill to attract enemies. While the turtle provoked the surrounding monsters, Yang Yang gave a second command. Zhulong, clear the mobs. With a sweeping wave of attacks, Zhulong wiped out groups of enemies with ease. The experience points flowed in rapidly. Thanks to the dragon turtle's support, Yang Yang's leveling efficiency had skyrocketed. Both of his summoned beasts had grown stronger. Zhulong, empowered by his divine encouragement talent, had now broken past 3,000 in a single attribute, a feat unheard of for a novice-level beast. At this point, Yang Yang realized the novice dungeon could no longer satisfy his growth. If I want to reach level 10 before the entrance exam, he thought, I need to move to a higher-level dungeon soon. Just then, a system notification popped up telling him that he had killed a level 10 mutated black bear and obtained Beastmaster skill book. Soul Tear. Yang Yang's eyes widened in disbelief. Is this a skill book for Beastmasters? That meant he could now fight on his own, without relying solely on his summoned monsters. Without wasting a second, he opened the skill book and immediately mastered Soul Tear. Moments later, a humanoid-shaped monster approached him. It gave off a powerful aura, much stronger than the previous mobs. Perfect, Yang Yang thought with a smirk. Let's test it out. He activated Soul Tear. A flash of ethereal energy burst from his hand. One hit, and the monster dropped dead. A system prompt confirmed telling him that he had killed the final boss Savage King and gained 1,000 experience points. Dungeon cleared. Yang Yang stood there, momentarily stunned. I one-shotted the final boss. After clearing the dungeon, he stepped out into the waiting area. Teacher Su noticed him and immediately walked over. You're out early again? There are still 2 hours left. Why didn't you grind a bit more? Yang Yang scratched his neck awkwardly. I kind of accidentally one-shotted the Savage King. Some nearby teachers stared at him in disbelief. Is this kid trying to mock us? This little brat's definitely showing off. Teacher Su chuckled and waved them down. All right, calm down. Then he turned to Yang Yang and said, come again tomorrow. But Yang Yang shook his head. Teacher Su, I'd like to apply to enter the Spider Cave dungeon tomorrow instead. Teacher Su froze. The Spider Cave? Are you serious? That's a wild dungeon. There are no protective measures. The danger level is extremely high. You're already level 7, he added. With that alone, you'll easily get accepted into a top-tier academy. Why take such a risk? But Yang Yang's eyes were firm. I'm not aiming for just any academy. I want to apply to Tianlong Academy. Hearing this, Teacher Su was stunned. Tianlong Academy. That was a goal reserved for the top 0.1% of Beastmasters. Reaching level 10 was a bare minimum requirement, and time was running out. Looking at Yang Yang's determination, Teacher Su sighed. He's really serious. Fine, he said, but be very careful. If anything feels off, retreat immediately. Don't try to act like a hero. Yang Yang nodded firmly. Understood. Thank you, Teacher Su. A while later, Zhou Ying exited the dungeon as well. Zhang Guofu approached her with a proud smile. Good work. You came out an hour earlier today. Much better than yesterday. But Zhou Ying looked around, her expression tense. She didn't see Yang Yang anywhere. She turned to the teachers. Where is Yang Yang? One of them replied. He already reached level 7 and left a while ago. Zhou Ying was stunned. Level 7 already. She had pushed herself to the limit today, and had only just managed to reach level 6. Once again, he was ahead of her. Clenching her fists, she muttered to herself, I will surpass him. But just then, Teacher Zhang said, he won't be coming back here tomorrow. Zhou Ying blinked. He's planning to go to the Spider Cave dungeon. Her eyes widened. That's a level 12 dungeon. Even my Black Phoenix might struggle to handle that. Could he have some kind of secret weapon? Then, her eyes sharpened with resolve. Teacher Zhang, I want to apply for the Spider Cave dungeon as well. I'll go tomorrow. At the trading house, Yang Yang arrived with a clear goal, to sell his loot and exchange it for a spirit stone. With the Spider Cave challenge looming ahead, he knew his current 2 monsters weren't strong enough. He needed to summon a third. A salesgirl greeted him warmly, asking how she could assist. Without hesitation, Yang Yang opened his storage, placed several dungeon-dropped items on the counter, and asked if the trading house accepted such goods. He added that he wanted to sell everything for cash, and then buy a spirit stone with the earnings. The girl seemed a bit surprised but nodded and asked him to wait. After a short while, she returned with a single spirit stone and handed it to him. Yang Yang blinked in confusion. What about the rest of the money? He asked. The salesgirl explained that all the items he had provided were from a novice dungeon, and held very little value. The total worth was just enough to purchase a single spirit stone. There was no change. Stunned, Yang Yang struggled to accept the reality. 2 days of effort had earned him almost nothing. Seeing his disappointment, the girl gently suggested that if he truly wanted to make money, he should head to the Adventurers Guild and take on dungeon quests. Taking her advice to heart, Yang Yang went straight to the guild. He browsed through the available missions, but found most of them offered meager rewards. Just as he was about to give up, his eyes locked onto a nightmare-level quest. The reward, 1,000 gold coins and a monster star-up stone. Without a second thought, Yang Yang accepted it. He knew nightmare difficulty dungeons were no joke. If he wanted a chance at survival, he had to summon his third monster, and fast. The next day, Yang Yang stood before the ominous entrance of the Spider Cave. Before stepping in, he used the spirit stone he had purchased to fully restore his spirit energy. Then, with a deep breath, he activated the summoning ritual. The sky above burst into radiant light. A powerful beam descended in front of him, blindingly bright. Yang Yang's heart raced with anticipation. As the light began to fade, the outline of a monster took shape, and what emerged left him speechless. Far away, within the National Destiny Temple, strange phenomena erupted once more. The temple glowed brilliantly, alarming the higher authorities. Whispers filled the air. Could it be another new totem? This was the third mysterious beast to appear in such a short time. The Destiny Temple had existed for nearly 1,000 years, yet never had such a spectacle occurred. What shocked the elders even more was that this time, the totem's position was higher than Zhulong's, and the nation's fortune had increased by 1,500 points. The elders were ecstatic. They believed the rise of Longguo was finally within reach. Back at the Spider Cave, Yang Yang stared in disbelief at the monster before him. A towering warrior stood firm, holding a colossal battle axe. Most unsettling of all, its face was embedded in its stomach. It was none other than Xingtian, a legendary being from the classic of mountains and seas, and it carried the rare SSS grade classification. Xingtian's base stats were Strength, 2,000, Agility, 1,500, Spirit, 1,000, Constitution, 2,500, Skills included, Passive, War, God's Body, Level 1, Active, Bloodthirsty Rage, Level 1, Desperate Strike, Level 1. Yang Yang was in awe. Xingtian was the embodiment of war, a godlike presence. His stats were even higher than Zhulong's, proving once again that the classic of mountains and seas was no ordinary book. It was a divine treasure. Meanwhile, back at the Destiny Temple, the elders demanded a report. Do we have any data on this new entity? The analysis team responded swiftly. The third beast is confirmed to be SSS grade, and it was summoned by the same individual, who hasn't even reached level 10. Shock swept across the chamber. A white-haired elder stood and commanded an immediate investigation. "We must find this person. The fate of Longguo may depend on it." But a black-haired officer shook his head. "We've already searched every student who recently awakened a heaven grade or higher beast seal. There's no trace. It's likely his identity is being protected by a supernatural force." The white-haired elder clenched his scarf and sighed. "Then we'll wait. In 3 days, during the college entrance examination trials, we'll finally uncover who this person is." The next day, outside the spider cave, dozens of awakeners had gathered, forming parties in hopes of conquering the dangerous dungeon. Many of them proudly displayed their beast seals, hoping to join strong teams to level up faster. In the midst of this bustling crowd, a few people noticed a lone figure walking steadily toward the cave entrance, a level 7 awakener named Yang Yang. "What's a level 7 doing in front of a level 12 dungeon?" one person muttered, puzzled. A red-haired girl stepped forward and approached Yang Yang with concern. "Are you lost? Do you need help?" Yang Yang offered her a polite smile. "Thank you, but no need to worry." With that, he continued walking. Just then, a man in a blue t-shirt stepped in front of him, blocking his path. "Hey kid, don't go throwing your life away," he warned. "This isn't like those newbie dungeons you cleared in school. If you run into a calamity-class monster, you might not make it out alive." Yang Yang paused, his expression curious. "A calamity-class monster? In this dungeon? Does it drop the heart of calamity?" The man nodded grimly. "And if one appears, it has to be taken down immediately. If we fail, losing your life will be the least of your worries. It could cause the nation's fate value to drop. That's why it's such a big deal." Yang Yang gave a grateful nod. "Thanks for the warning, but that's exactly the kind of monster I came here to hunt." Without another word, he approached the dungeon gate and selected the difficulty, Nightmare. Only on Nightmare could the heart of calamity be dropped, so there was no point hesitating. The man in the blue t-shirt scoffed in disbelief. "This kid isn't even taking our advice seriously. Is his brain broken or something?" But they all knew they couldn't force him. In the end, it was his choice. Inside the dungeon, Yang Yang took his first step and immediately ran into a level 12 spider monster. As expected of Nightmare difficulty, even the mobs were elites. Without hesitation, he summoned Dragon Turtle and commanded it to use Taunt. Then he called forth Xingtian and Zhulong, his 2 strongest beasts. Together, they made quick work of the spider, defeating it easily. He earned 600 experience points and a spider longsword. With Xingtian on his team and the divine inspiration buff granting him a 10-fold attribute boost, even elite monsters were manageable. Wasting no time, Yang Yang charged deeper into the dungeon, hunting monsters and racking up experience. But as time passed and the bodies piled up, he started to grow impatient. He frowned. The quest target still hasn't appeared. Is it not a guaranteed spawn? Just as that thought crossed his mind, the ground trembled, and from the shadows, it emerged. A calamity-class spider monster. It towered above him, radiating dread. Its stats were outrageous, so much so that most players would wet their pants just seeing it. But Yang Yang wasn't here to run or hide. He summoned all 3 of his beasts and gave the order to attack. The monster's defense was massive, and its health pool was even worse. Even a 3-on-1 assault felt like trying to break a mountain. "This is getting dangerous," he thought. Then it hit him. Soul Rend, a deadly skill that ignored defense and dealt lethal, direct damage. Without delay, Yang Yang activated Soul Rend and launched the attack straight at the Calamity-class spider. The energy tore through the air and struck the beast, but it still wasn't enough to finish it off. Now enraged, the monster's glowing eyes locked onto Yang Yang. With a hiss, it unleashed Venom Dot, a deadly poison attack, and hurled it straight at him. Yang Yang's heart pounded. It's too fast. There's absolutely no way to dodge it. To Yang Yang's surprise, just as the venom attack was about to hit him, a glowing light barrier enveloped his body. He instinctively looked down, expecting damage, but there was none. Then he realized it. Thanks to the trait of the classic of mountains and seas, the damage meant for him had been transferred to the dragon turtle. Even the turtle couldn't endure too many more hits. If this dragged on, it might not survive. Yang Yang clenched his fists. This has to end now. Without wasting a second, he activated Soul Rend once again, piercing through the monster's defensive barrier. Seizing the moment, he gave Zhulong the signal. Now, Zhulong opened its jaws and unleashed a devastating fire breath. The searing flames engulfed the Calamity-class spider, and with a final screech, the monster collapsed. Dead. Yang Yang exhaled in relief. The battle was over. He had just defeated a level 13 Calamity-class monster. His body glowed. He leveled up, and received the quest item, Lesser Heart of Calamity. But that wasn't all. The monster dropped over 50 additional items, including Calamity Mask, Calamity Longbow, Psionic Stones, Spirit Staff, which increased spirit points to 60, Spider Spirit Mask, which boosted mentality plus 30, and granted invisibility twice a day, each lasting 2 minutes. Yang Yang's eyes widened in excitement. The Spirit Staff could amplify the damage of Soul Rend, while the Spider Mask's invisibility effect was perfect for ambushes or escapes. It was the ideal gear for a tactical fighter. Just then, the dragon turtle let out a low, pained roar. Yang Yang quickly rushed to its side and returned it to the exotic beast realm to rest and recover. He knew if the venom had directly hit the turtle, it likely wouldn't have done much due to its extreme defense, but since the attack was meant for him, it had absorbed the full impact. This close call made one thing clear. If he wanted to survive future challenges, he needed to improve his own survivability. Meanwhile, outside the spider cave, returning parties whispered about the nightmare difficulty. Many had nearly died, surrounded by aggressive monsters. Just then, the red-haired girl from earlier noticed someone emerging from the cave, and was stunned to see it was Yang Yang. He had reached level 9. He made it out alive, she muttered. Those around her were equally stunned. He cleared nightmare difficulty? Could it be? His exotic beasts are just that powerful? Someone guessed. But the man in the blue t-shirt shook his head. Impossible. No matter how strong your beasts are, you can't solo a nightmare dungeon while underleveled. He must have had some powerful items. Yang Yang, meanwhile, wasted no time. He returned to the Adventurers Guild, submitted the Heart of Calamity, and claimed his rewards. Then he examined his loot. Among everything, one item caught his attention. The Star Upgrade Stone. Its description read, "Significantly enhances the attributes of an exotic beast and may awaken a new skill." Yang Yang's eyes lit up. It was worth it. Every bit of effort paid off. But before using it, he decided to sell off the extra dungeon drops. So he made his way toward the Merchant Guild, planning to trade in the unneeded gear. He was walking quickly, excitement bubbling inside him, when suddenly, he collided with someone and fell to the ground. A loud voice snapped at him. "Hey, are you blind or what?" He looked up to see a blue-haired girl glaring at him. Embarrassed, Yang Yang shot back. "You're the one who bumped into me on purpose, trying to take advantage of me." The girl blinked, then quickly apologized. "Sorry, I was walking too fast and didn't see you." Yang Yang, still a little flustered, smiled awkwardly. "No worries. I was just in a hurry to sell my equipment." The girl raised an eyebrow. "A level 9 like you, what kind of gear could you possibly have?" But then her eyes caught sight of the weapon hanging at his waist. The Spider Elite Leader's longsword. Her expression froze. She reached out and grabbed his arm. "Don't sell that at the auction house. You'll lose out. I can offer you a much better price than they ever would." Yang Yang looked at the blue-haired girl with hesitation. "We don't even know each other. How can I trust you?" he asked nervously. The girl gave a calm, confident smile. "I'm Zhang Xiaoru, a member of the Fairy Guild," she said, showing him her guild badge. "I'm mainly responsible for acquiring rare equipment and materials for my guild. On their behalf, I can guarantee you that the price I offer will be absolutely fair and reasonable." Yang Yang thought it over. He knew the trading house usually bought items at very low prices. Compared to that, selling directly to someone like her, especially from a major guild, was actually a better deal. "I've got a few top-tier items. Would you be interested in buying those too?" Zhang Xiaoru's eyes sparkled. "Of course, show me everything." Yang Yang opened his inventory and displayed the full collection of equipment he had looted from the Calamity-class spider. Zhang Xiaoru's jaw dropped. These are items that only drop from defeating Calamity-class monsters. Panicked, Yang Yang quickly covered her mouth. "Keep it down. There are too many people and too many eyes here. I need to keep a low profile." Zhang Xiaoru blinked, then nodded. She leaned in closer and whispered, "You're only level 9. How do you even have this much Calamity gear? Don't tell me. It didn't come from legal means." Yang Yang gave her a deadpan look. "Don't talk nonsense. I earned all of this myself. Are you buying or not?" Zhang Xiaoru smiled. "Of course I am. I didn't expect little brother to be not only handsome but also so capable." After sealing the deal, she hesitated, then looked at him seriously. "Actually, there's something I'd like to ask you." Yang Yang raised an eyebrow. "What kind of favor?" She glanced around before whispering. "In the southern outskirts, there's a level 14 hidden dungeon, the Goblin Mine. I need a rare drop from the boss there, the Goblin King's skull. If you can bring it back to me, I'll even repay you by offering myself to you." Yang Yang nearly choked. "That's completely unnecessary. I'm not that kind of person," he said awkwardly. But in his head he thought, in today's society, boys really need to protect themselves too. Zhang Xiaoru giggled. "Relax, I was joking. Kind of. The Goblin King's skull is truly valuable. If you bring it back, I'll make sure you're well rewarded. Yang Yang considered it. He needed to train in higher-level areas anyway, and a level 14 dungeon sounded perfect. All right, I'll do it. Zhang Xiaoru thanked him and told him she'd be waiting for good news. After buying all the gear from Yang Yang, she turned and returned to her guild headquarters. Yang Yang, now much richer, headed off to find a quiet place to rank up his mythical beast, but neither of them noticed. A cloaked figure had been eavesdropping on their entire conversation. Reaching an isolated area, Yang Yang took out the star upgrade stone and looked at his most powerful exotic beast, Xing Tian. Let's see what you can really become. The moment he activated the stone, Xing Tian's entire body began to glow, pulsing with ancient energy. A visible aura of strength surged from the beast. When the light faded, a system window popped up. Xing Tian, star rank, level 2, power surged. Attributes boosted, new passive skill unlocked. Super destruction. 1.5% chance of instant kill. Strength leads to miracles. Yang Yang's eyes lit up. A 1.5% chance might sound low, but for a mythical beast like Xing Tian, it was terrifying. A single axe swing that could slay a calamity-class monster was a god-tier ability most beasts could only dream of. Now fully prepared, Yang Yang made his way to the hidden dungeon, Goblin Mine, just as Zhang Xiaoru had instructed. Standing before the dungeon gate, he confirmed the location. This should be it. Without hesitation, he teleported inside. The moment he arrived, he was greeted by a horde of level 14 goblins, surrounding him on all sides. Yang Yang grinned, eyes blazing with anticipation. Let the hunt begin. Saves me the trouble of hunting them down one by one. Yang Yang smirked and activated his detection technique, scanning the goblins that had emerged from the darkness. To his surprise, the monsters in this level 14 dungeon had indeed seen another significant attribute boost, but Yang Yang only grinned. Then again, I'm not the same as yesterday either. Without hesitation, he summoned his beasts and gave the order. Xing Tian, attack. Let's see how strong you are now after the star upgrade. The colossal warrior charged forward. With a single swing of his massive axe, Xing Tian cleaved through a level 14 goblin shaman, slicing it clean in half. Yang Yang's eyes widened in awe. After reaching 2 stars, Xing Tian's attack speed had drastically increased, and his movements had become sharper, more precise. Dealing with elite goblins was no different than slicing melons and cutting vegetables. Xing Tian continued mowing down enemies, each kill flooding Yang Yang with experience points. If this keeps up, Yang Yang thought, I might actually reach level 10 today. Behind him, Dragon Turtle let out a low roar, clearly impatient. Yang Yang chuckled. Calm down. I'll let you go wild soon enough. Suddenly, an unexpected twist occurred. One of the goblins, larger than the rest and wielding an axe, blocked Xing Tian's strike. Yang Yang's expression shifted to surprise. It blocked him. He immediately activated detection technique again. Goblin General, boss monster. Passive skill, General's intuition. Effect, reduces incoming damage by 20%. Increases own strength by 10%. That explains it. Yang Yang muttered. No wonder it could take a hit from Xing Tian. But there was no time to waste. Xing Tian, activate Bloodthirsty Frenzy. With a roar, Xing Tian's muscles tensed, his aura igniting with blood-red energy. He leapt forward and brought his axe crashing down, cleaving the goblin general in half. Yang Yang walked over to claim the loot. Among the items was a glimmering piece of armor. Item acquired. General's armor. Usage requirement. Level 10. Yang Yang's eyes lit up. Just what I needed, he whispered. I was planning to save up gold to buy some defensive gear, but this saves me the trouble. Still, with the armor's level requirement, he had no choice but to level up fast. He turned to Dragon Turtle. It's your turn now. Taunt. Now! Dragon Turtle roared and slammed the ground, sending out a wave of provocation that echoed through the dungeon. From deep within the shadows, dozens of goblins began pouring out, drawn by the skill. Yang Yang smiled coldly. Zhulong, Xing Tian, clear them out. Both mythical beasts let out deafening roars and charged headfirst into the horde. Zhulong's body ignited with flames as it unleashed its fire breath, while Xing Tian dashed in, axe gleaming with deadly precision. Goblins shrieked and scattered, but there was nowhere to run. 3 hours later, Yang Yang stood over the corpses of countless defeated level 13 elite goblin swordsmen. His breath was steady, his eyes sharp. Level up. You have reached level 10. At long last, he had broken through. His 4 base attributes had risen drastically, and his 3 contracted beasts had also grown stronger alongside him. With his current power, there was no doubt, it was finally time to face the boss of this dungeon, the Goblin King. Venturing deep into the dungeon's core, Yang Yang soon found himself face to face with the towering monster. The Goblin King was far more intimidating than any of the generals that came before. Muscular, covered in jagged armor, and wielding a massive black axe, the king radiated raw, murderous intent. Yang Yang activated his detection technique, and a system window appeared. Goblin King, leader class boss, but its health and strength was unknown. All stats significantly exceed the Spider Calamity class monster. Skills: Goblin Warcry, Giant Cleave, Regeneration, King's Wrath. Yang Yang's gaze narrowed. As expected of a true leader class monster, even stronger than the Calamity class spider. Just then, the Goblin King let out a roar and raised its axe, gathering immense energy for a devastating strike. Yang Yang's instincts flared. Shield of Life, activate. His body was instantly enveloped in a golden light barrier, glowing like divine armor. A moment later, the Goblin King's axe came crashing down with earth-shattering force. The impact was so powerful that the Shield of Life started cracking, then broke apart in glowing fragments. It didn't hold. Yang Yang gritted his teeth. Zhulong, Xing Tian, Dragon Turtle, get out here, coordinate your assault. But before he could finish issuing commands, Xing Tian broke formation and charged directly at the Goblin King. Xing Tian, why are you charging in alone? Before Yang Yang could stop him, Xing Tian's body radiated crimson light. His axe gleamed with terrifying energy. Passive skill. Triggered. Super Destruction. 1.5% chance of instant kill. In a single explosive swing, Xing Tian cleaved the Goblin King in two, ending the battle before it even began. Yang Yang stood frozen, staring at the collapsing boss. What just happened? His screen flashed again. Goblin King defeated. Loot acquired. Goblin King's skull. Goblin eyeball. Spirit Energy Stone. Wasn't Super Destruction supposed to only have a 1.5% chance of triggering? He muttered. How ridiculously lucky is this guy? Still stunned, he walked over and picked up the Goblin King's skull. I got what I came for. I should hurry back and report to Zhang Xiaoru. With his mission complete and a pile of loot in his inventory, Yang Yang made his way back toward the dungeon entrance. But as he stepped out, his path was blocked. A group of people stood waiting outside the entrance, armed and alert. Yang Yang stopped. His expression shifted to wariness. What's going on? Why are there so many people out here? From the crowd, a blue-haired man turned and shouted, "Boss! It's him! The kid! Yesterday, I heard he solo killed a Calamity class monster. Today, he solo cleared a level 14 dungeon while only level 10. He must be carrying some kind of divine artifact." Yang Yang's eyes shifted to the group's attire, guild badges on their chests. A private organization. He narrowed his eyes. Who are you people? What do you want? A tall, yellow-haired man stepped forward, his expression smug and eyes filled with greed. "The name's Brother Long," he said. "We've been waiting for you all day." He raised a hand. "Hand over the Goblin King's skull, and whatever divine artifact you used to clear this dungeon." Yang Yang stood frozen, eyes narrowing in fury. "They're seriously trying to rob me in broad daylight." But the yellow-haired man, Brother Long, smirked arrogantly. No, we're just borrowing your artifact." Yang Yang's voice was cold. "And what if I refuse?" Brother Long's smile vanished. He raised his crossbow and aimed it straight at Yang Yang's head. "Say no one more time, and your skull will explode." The threat didn't faze Yang Yang in the slightest. "I've been holding back. Just needed a bit more info out of these bastards." Feigning hesitation, he reached into his inventory and pulled out the Goblin King's skull. "Fine," he said calmly. "Just spare my life." The blue-haired man beside Brother Long burst out laughing. "I thought this kid had some guts. Turns out he's just a coward. The moment our boss pulls a weapon, he shits himself." Brother Long nodded and sneered. "Since you're being so obedient, how about you hand over that divine artifact you used to clear a level 14 dungeon solo?" Yang Yang blinked. "Divine artifact? I don't have anything like that." "You think we're idiots?" the man snapped. "You cleared a level 14 goblin mine solo before even hitting level 10, and we're supposed to believe you don't have a divine artifact? What do you take the Black Shark Guild for? A bunch of toddlers." At that name, Yang Yang's expression darkened. Black Shark Guild. I've heard of them. A guild infamous for extortion, underworld dealings, and illegal beast trafficking. The lowest scum of the awakened world. He clenched his fists. "Now that I've run into them, I can't let them leave." Yang Yang opened his inventory again, and this time drew a black dagger. In the next instant, he vanished. "Where'd he go?" Brother Long shouted, his eyes darting around in panic. A flash of movement behind him. Too late. Yang Yang appeared behind Brother Long and plunged the dagger clean into his back, piercing through armor and bone. Brother Long collapsed, lifeless. "Boss Long!" the blue-haired man cried out. He's dead! Summon your beasts! Avenge the boss! He shouted desperately. In a panic, the Black Shark members summoned their contract beasts, dozens of them, bears, snakes, wolves, birds, an army of summoned chaos. You're outnumbered, the blue-haired man yelled. Our beasts alone could drown you with their spit. Yang Yang just smiled coldly. Zhulong, Xing Tian, Dragon Turtle, summon. The moment his beasts appeared, the battlefield shifted. The air trembled. The ground cracked beneath Xing Tian's axe, Zhulong's flaming body, and Dragon Turtle's impenetrable shell. The guild members stepped back in horror. What the hell are those? There's no way we can fight that. Please, it's a misunderstanding, the blue-haired man begged, dropping to his knees. We didn't know who you were. Yang Yang didn't blink. The Black Shark Guild's reputation has stunk for ages, and now, you had to mess with me. That just makes today your unlucky day. He raised his hand. Xing Tian, wipe them out. No, please, but mercy was not on the table. Xing Tian roared and charged forward, his axe blazing with destruction. The battlefield became a slaughterhouse. One by one, the Black Shark Guild members were eliminated, brutally and efficiently. When the last enemy fell, the silence returned. Yang Yang let out a long breath, the weight of the moment catching up to him. Survival of the fittest. That's the rule of this world. He looked down at the bodies. Taking a life, even like this, it shakes you the first time. But he didn't regret it. He had made his choice. 2 hours later, after trading the Goblin King's skull to Jiang Xiaoru in exchange for a large amount of resources, Yang Yang finally had time to relax. Now, all he needed to do was wait for the big entrance exam to begin. As he walked back toward his house under the setting sun, he suddenly felt something strange. Someone was following him. Without hesitation, Yang Yang spun around, grabbed the person's wrist, and pinned them against a wall. To his surprise, it was his classmate, Zhou Ying. Zhou Ying stared at him, clearly unimpressed. What guilty thing did you do? I just tapped your shoulder, and you react like that. Yang Yang blinked, realizing he was still holding her wrist tightly. Did I hurt you? He quickly let go and scratched his head awkwardly. What are you doing here anyway? Were you looking for me? Zhou Ying crossed her arms. I heard from the teacher that you went to the spider cave to level up, but when I got there today, you weren't anywhere to be found. Yang Yang gave a sheepish smile. I went somewhere else instead. I already hit level 10. Zhou Ying's eyes widened. You what? You're already level 10. Her mood suddenly shifted. Do you ever stop to consider other people's feelings? Do you know how badly you hurt people's self-esteem with this kind of progress? Yang Yang laughed nervously. I just got lucky, that's all. You're doing great too. Zhou Ying didn't buy it. She grabbed his collar and shouted, I don't care what you say. You're taking me leveling tomorrow no matter what. If I don't hit level 10, I won't make it into Tianlong Academy. Yang Yang raised both hands in surrender. All right, don't worry. There's still plenty of time. I don't care, she snapped. You're taking me. Yang Yang sighed, thinking this girl is really something. He said fine and asked her, meet him tomorrow at the Spider Cave instance entrance. The next day, at the Spider Cave, Yang Yang spotted Zhou Ying waiting, but before he could call out to her, a commotion broke out at the entrance. A group of people in white uniforms were shouting, Clear the path! Move aside! Yang Yang narrowed his eyes as he caught a glimpse of their chest badges, the same ones worn by the thugs from yesterday. Just then, Zhou Ying quickly grabbed his wrist and whispered urgently, Let's get inside the dungeon. Stay away from them. Yang Yang frowned. Why? Zhou Ying leaned in close. Last night I overheard my dad talking. He said members of the Black Shark Guild hit an iron wall. Apparently several beastmasters disappeared without a trace. All they found were a few guild badges on the ground. No bodies. Yang Yang's heart skipped a beat. Trying to act natural, he asked, Did they find out who did it? Zhou Ying shook her head. But with how many enemies the Black Shark Guild has made, it's no surprise someone finally gave them divine punishment. She grinned. Whoever did it is a hero in my eyes. Finally those bastards got what they deserved. Yang Yang let out a small breath of relief. They don't suspect me. Zhou Ying clenched her fists in excitement. I wonder which expert it was that made those guys disappear. So cool. Yang Yang smirked teasingly. Maybe they're not all that amazing. Zhou Ying turned and punched him in the face. Don't slander my idol. She had no idea that the very hero she was praising stood right in front of her. Just then, another student walked by and spotted the two of them together. He raised an eyebrow in shock. Yo, Yang Yang, you're on a date with the school beauty. Yang Yang's expression twitched. Shut up. It's not what you think. Zhou Ying raised her hand again, clearly ready to punch him a second time. Yang Yang quickly explained, She's just here to level up. Same as us. There's nothing between us, I swear. Zhou Ying's face darkened. You invited someone else too. Before she could erupt, Yang Yang pulled his friend aside. Ignore the details. The instance timer is almost up. Let's go. His friend nodded, confused but not questioning further, and the three of them entered the spider cave dungeon. Before entering the dungeon, Yang Yang selected the nightmare difficulty setting. His friends were stunned. He's only level 5, and he's already choosing nightmare difficulty? One of them exclaimed in disbelief. Yang Yang, unfazed, simply smiled and reassured them. Relax. If anything happens, I'll keep you all safe. Once inside the dungeon, a pack of level 14 spider monsters ambushed them. Despite the danger, Zhou Ying showed no fear. With unwavering determination, she swiftly summoned her contracted beasts, Black Phoenix and Emperor Crocodile, and commanded them to demonstrate their strength. Yang Yang's friend watched in amazement. As expected of the school beauty, she had summoned yet another A-rank beast. However, when he noticed the spider monster's levels, panic set in. He glanced at his own beast, Little Wolfie, and nervously asked if it could handle the situation. But the B-rank Little Wolfie was powerless against the spider leader, a formidable level 14 opponent. Yang Yang stepped forward calmly and told his friend not to worry. He summoned his own beasts and gave the command. Xing Tian was to attack, while the dragon turtle used its taunt ability, drawing all the enemies into one spot. Zhou Ying and Yang Yang's friend were both stunned. What kind of beasts are those? They wondered aloud as all the spider mobs were pulled together. In the next instant, Zhulong unleashed his draconic power, while Xing Tian swung his massive axe, clearing out the entire wave of monsters in one blow. Yang Yang's friend, still in shock, turned to him. How are you able to summon such powerful beasts? I thought your beast seal was declared useless. Zhou Ying, too, was filled with curiosity. How can you summon monsters like these? Yang Yang smiled and finally answered. These are my contracted beasts. 1 double S rank and 2 triple S rank. Both of them were left speechless. How could he possibly summon such powerful beasts? Didn't the instructor say he awakened a trash-tier beast seal? Sensing their disbelief, Yang Yang nervously added, if it were just an ordinary book, then yes, it would be a trash beast seal. But mine is special. He asked them to keep it a secret. I don't want to attract any unnecessary attention. His friend nodded earnestly. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. With that, the group continued deeper into the dungeon, hunting more monsters along the way. At one point, a level 13 spider warrior appeared before them. Without hesitation, Yang Yang ordered Xing Tian to eliminate it, and with a single blow, the creature fell. Monster after monster was defeated, and the experience points piled up. Yang Yang's friend, overwhelmed by their rapid progress, exclaimed, Your beasts are insanely strong. Even the spider's eyes look clearer now. Zhang, now fuming, snapped back, We'll see who's better after the exam. Just then, 3 men descended from the sky, flying above the exam grounds. The students looked up in awe. Yang Yang immediately recognized the significance. Only Beastmasters above level 80, who have completed their 3rd job advancement, can fly like that. I still have a long way to go, he thought with clenched fists. The 3 powerful figures landed gracefully in the stadium. One of them stepped forward and addressed the students. I am Mo Yan, your proctor for this exam, he announced. Under my supervision, cheating is strictly prohibited. Anyone caught breaking the rules will be immediately expelled. All the students nodded seriously. Mo Yan continued. This assessment will be conducted in 3 parts. The first part will test your strength and spirit. You will be placed in an independent space where 2 test statues await. For every 500 points of damage dealt to them, you will earn 1 point. The exam duration is 30 minutes. Upon hearing the explanation, one of the students suddenly raised his hand and asked Mo Yan, Is there an extra reward if we manage to destroy the statues? Mo Yan, however, shook his head. Don't concern yourself with that. The 2 test statues are immune to 90% of physical and elemental damage, respectively. With your current levels, it's absolutely impossible to destroy them. With that, the exam began. All the students were teleported into their own independent spaces. Yang Yang found himself alone, and 2 massive golem statues appeared before him. Wasting no time, he activated his detect skill. The system identified them as Level 10, Fizz-Resistant Gargoyle. Exam use only with high HP. Passive skill, Physical Damage Immunity. Reduces physical damage by 90%. Passive skill, Elemental Damage Immunity. Reduces elemental damage by 90%. Yang Yang wasn't surprised. Just as he expected. High defense and massive HP. Without hesitation, he summoned Xing Tian and gave him a direct order. Activate full power attack. Show them what you're made of. Xing Tian roared and activated Bloodthirsty Frenzy. Attacks have 10% lifesteal. Damage multiplier. 1.5x. Attack speed plus 20%. As the skill activated, Xing Tian's body began to grow, and his power surged. Leaping into the air, he struck one of the gargoyles with a devastating blow, dealing 60,000 damage in a single hit. Without pause, he charged at the second gargoyle and delivered another strike, this time dealing 80,000 damage. Yang watched in awe, but not surprise. As expected of the ancient war god Xing Tian, in just 2 hits, he had already earned 280 points. The golems started breaking apart under the relentless assault. With a powerful roar, Xing Tian hurled his massive axe, smashing the remaining pieces into dust. After completely destroying the test statues, Yang received an additional 2,000 points. Meanwhile, outside in the observation area, one of the instructors approached President Zhou and remarked, "Among this year's students, I'm most optimistic about your daughter. Reaching level 10 in just a few days, she's already at the threshold of Qianlong Academy. Truly, a heaven-blessed genius." President Zhou nodded. But compared to geniuses, that freak who summoned 3 SS-rank monsters in a row is even more impressive. I just don't know which province he's from. Mo Yan agreed. To have a beastmaster of that level appear out of nowhere, it's truly a blessing for the Xia nation. Just then, President Zhou noticed something strange. A student was being teleported out early. That's Yang, but it's only been 5 minutes since the test began. Why is he out already? Mo Yan quickly turned to the man monitoring the back end and instructed, "Check the data logs. Is there an issue with the system?" The man nodded and started checking, but before he could respond, Yang stepped forward and addressed the proctors directly. "I've completed the first test." Mo Yan looked confused. "Completed? What do you mean?" Yang answered calmly. "I shattered both test statues and finished the challenge." The second proctor, Wang Liang, scoffed. "That's impossible. The test statues are immune to 90% of both physical and elemental damage. You must have used some kind of illegal item." Yang immediately denied the accusation. "If you don't believe me, check the back-end records," Wang Liang snapped. "Don't tell us how to do our job. If you dared to cheat in front of old Mo, we'll revoke your exam eligibility." Just then, the examiner monitoring the system looked up in shock. According to the system logs, Yang destroyed both statues in 4 minutes and 28 seconds. No illegal items were detected. All 3 proctors were stunned. Mo Yan muttered in disbelief. He shattered both golems in under 5 minutes. Looks like Jinling has produced a true powerhouse. President Zhou turned to Yang and asked, "Are you my daughter Yinger's classmate?" Yang nodded. President Zhou smiled. "Ah, she's mentioned you before. No wonder she's always being surpassed. Truly extraordinary." Proctor Wang Liang was still unwilling to accept the results. President Zhou, "Old Mo, don't be fooled. I'm certain this kid cheated. We need to launch a thorough investigation, Furious." Yang stepped forward. "If you suspect me, then show proof. Otherwise, this is slander, and I have the right to request that Old Mo revoke your proctor qualification," Wang Liang shouted, enraged. But before he could say another word, Mo Yan raised his hand and silenced him. "I hereby declare that student Yang's results are valid," Mo Yan announced. Yang nodded in appreciation. "Thank you, Proctor Mo, for your fair judgment." Wang Liang, now furious and humiliated in front of everyone, clenched his fists. This brat dared to embarrass me publicly. He was now determined to teach Yang a lesson. Meanwhile, Yang's friend and Zhou Ying were doing their best to damage the golems and earn as many points as possible. Time passed quickly, and eventually, the first test came to an end. One by one, all the students were teleported out of their independent spaces and back to the examination grounds. Mo Yan stepped forward and began announcing the results of the first exam. 10th place, Wei Jin, 1,135 points. 9th place, Liu Ping, 1,211 points. 8th place, Zhang Jiangqiang, 1,231 points. 7th place, Sun Ping'an, 1,245 points. Students in the crowd grumbled with frustration. "Those 2 damn statues were way too hard," one shouted. "My beast chipped 2 front teeth just trying to scratch it," another complained. Finally, Mo Yan announced the second-place result. Second place, Zhou Ying, with 1,322 points. Gasps filled the air as everyone turned to look at her. It was an impressive score, but not unexpected from a naturally gifted genius. Zhou Ying smiled, satisfied with her performance. "Thanks to reaching level 10 in advance, I managed to dish out some serious damage." However, as she waited for the first-place name to be called, she began to frown. "Why haven't they called Yang yet? If I'm in second, there's no way he's out of the top 10 with those 3 monsters of his." Just as she was thinking that, Mo Yan's voice echoed across the arena. First place, Yang Yang, with 2,000 points. The crowd fell silent. Then came the explosion of disbelief. 2,000 points? That's a perfect score. How is that even possible? Zhou Ying's eyes widened in shock. He got a perfect score? Whispers ran through the crowd. You have to completely destroy the statues to get a perfect score. But his beast seal was supposed to be trash. He must have cheated. Mo Yan quickly stepped forward and silenced the noise. Regarding Yang Yang's score, the records have already been verified. He achieved his result through sheer strength. No cheating was involved. Even with the confirmation, the students were left in disbelief. How can someone with a trash beast seal be this powerful? Many of the students who once thought they could outperform Yang Yang now felt defeated. Compared to him, their efforts seemed laughable. Mo Yan looked over the silent, demotivated crowd and thought to himself, if I told them Yang Yang did it in just 4.5 minutes, they might all just give up and quit here and now. Clearing his throat, he addressed the crowd again. Cheer up, everyone. Let's move on to the second test. This time, we'll be testing defense and agility. A lava beast will be generated in each of your independent spaces. For every minute you survive, you'll receive 20 points. The test duration is 2 hours. With that, he activated the system, and the second exam began. The students were once again teleported to their personal spaces. Yang Yang arrived in his new space, and was immediately greeted by the towering figure of a lava beast. Without hesitation, he used his detection art. That lava beast was level 15 with Lava Ball, Lava Fury active skills, and Absolute Defense passive skill that reduces physical and elemental damage by 100%, increases attack power by 10% every 5 minutes. Yang Yang's eyes narrowed. Reduces damage by 100%, and its attack power increases over time. No wonder this test is about defense and agility. It's practically invincible, he muttered to himself. The lava beast let out a thunderous roar and launched a blazing lava ball toward him. Yang Yang barely dodged it in time. The fireball exploded where he had just been standing. That was close. If I didn't move, I might have been eliminated already. Then, a sly grin crept across Yang Yang's face. Even if this guy takes 0 damage, as long as it has a health bar, maybe it can still die. He remembered something. Xing Tian has a 1.5% chance to trigger Ultra Destruction, an instant kill effect on monsters up to 5 levels higher than him. This lava beast is level 15. Perfect. Yang Yang clenched his fists. Let's give it a shot. Yang Yang gave a sharp command. Xing Tian, chop it down. With a mighty roar, Xing Tian leapt into the air and brought down a powerful blow onto the lava beast. The ground trembled from the impact. However, the lava beast's aggro remained locked on Yang Yang. It quickly retaliated by hurling a blazing fireball toward him. Yang Yang's eyes widened. It still has the energy to attack me. Panicking slightly, he immediately summoned Dragon Turtle and ordered, "Draw its aggro now." The Dragon Turtle let out a deep growl, activated its taunt, and successfully diverted the lava beast's attention. Yang Yang exhaled in relief. He was safe. For now. But only 20 minutes had passed since the second exam began, and the fight was already becoming intense. The lava beast was holding its own in a brutal, shoulder-to-shoulder brawl with Xing Tian. Watching the scene, Yang Yang couldn't believe what he was seeing. This thing is pushing Xing Tian back? Isn't Xing Tian supposed to be lucky? Why hasn't he triggered his insta-kill yet? Even Dragon Turtle was barely holding on at this point. Just then, the lava beast roared furiously and launched a firewall attack toward Xing Tian. Without hesitation, Xing Tian sprang into the air, charging straight at the beast. He activated his ultimate skill, Ultra Destruction. With a thunderous crash, he landed his strike, and in the next instant, the lava beast disintegrated. A system notification popped up in front of Yang Yang. Beast Xing Tian has triggered passive skill, Ultra Destruction. Lava beast has been slain. Yang Yang smiled with satisfaction. I knew I wasn't wrong. Outside, the proctors were still waiting for students to finish the test. One by one, more students exited the simulation space. Some looking completely drained, others furious about the lava beast's absurdly high defense. Seeing the early exits, Mo Yan frowned. Less than 40 minutes? The quality of students really is declining every year. President Zhou nodded, but added optimistically, based on the first round results, I think we can actually look forward to Yang Yang's score. However, Wang Liang, who had taken a strong disliking to Yang Yang, scoffed. That was just a fluke earlier. The lava beast has 100% damage immunity. No matter how talented Yang Yang is, what trick could he possibly pull? President Zhou calmly replied, I believe Yang Yang has the strength to defeat it. Wang Liang laughed mockingly. Don't forget, every hour the lava beast activates Lava Fury, a massive 400% AoE skill. No student in history has ever survived that wave. If Yang Yang withstands that, I'll wash my hair upside down. 1 hour passed. More students exited the test field. Some disappointed, some satisfied with their survival time. Zhou Ying also came out, her expression mixed with frustration. I didn't expect a full-screen AoE, she muttered, clearly annoyed. I rushed in carelessly and got wiped. Mo Yan glanced at the clock and prepared to announce the scores, assuming the exam had ended. But suddenly, the man monitoring the system exclaimed, "There's still one student in the simulation field." Mo Yan turned sharply. The man looked up. Yang Yang. A stunned silence fell over the entire stadium. Students turned to one another, whispering in disbelief. Yang Yang again. How the hell is he still in there? He survived the lava fury. Mo Yan stared at the data, unable to hide his surprise. This kid, he's really something else. Mo Yan glanced toward the test space. Yang Yang was still inside. He raised a hand to silence the murmuring crowd and said calmly, "Let's wait a little longer." President Zhou chuckled and turned to Wang Liang. "Get ready to wash your hair upside down." Wang Liang laughed nervously. "President Zhou, it was just a joke. No need to take it seriously." But Mo Yan's eyes turned cold as he looked at him. "As a beastmaster, one must keep their word. When Yang Yang comes out, you will fulfill your promise." Under the intense gaze of Mo Yan, Wang Liang nodded, clearly shaken. 2 long hours passed. Yang Yang still hadn't emerged from the test space. The students grew restless. Whispers spread through the crowd like wildfire. Is he still alive? Did he really get a perfect score again? Maybe the lava beast killed him ages ago? Or is there some kind of bug? Eventually, the time limit ran out. Mo Yan ordered the staff to shut down the test space. A moment later, Yang Yang reappeared on the testing ground, lying on the floor, fast asleep. Silence fell. No one knew how to react. Wang Liang burst out laughing. "I knew it! He was cheating, probably used some item to avoid fighting altogether." Mo Yan stepped forward and shouted, "Yang Yang, how long are you planning to sleep?" Yang Yang stirred, rubbing his eyes. "Is the second round over already?" Wang Liang pointed at him angrily. "You didn't even care about the time. Now you've been exposed, confused." Yang Yang looked around. "What do you mean, don't play dumb?" Wang Liang snapped. "What is the lava beast? Your pet. It didn't attack you, and even let you sleep." Yang Yang smiled faintly. "I killed it long ago. Then I just rested while waiting for the round to end." Gasps echoed throughout the crowd. Wang Liang stormed up to Elder Mo Yan. "He says he killed something with 100% damage immunity. He's not even trying to make his lies sound believable." But Yang Yang remained calm. "Don't accuse me without proof. Ask the monitoring teacher to check the data." Mo Yan nodded. "Teacher, check his records." Wang Liang, still fuming, sneered. "There's no point in checking. He'll be disqualified for life." President Zhou sighed quietly. "I thought he was a promising student. I didn't expect this." Just then, the results came in. Everyone turned to the monitoring teacher, holding their breath. At last, the teacher spoke. At 25 minutes and 18 seconds, Yang Yang's beast used a special skill and instantly killed the lava beast. Stunned silence. Mo Yan's eyes widened. Instant kill. A lava beast with full defense. The teacher nodded. Since it's never been defeated before, the system wasn't programmed to teleport students out early. That's why Yang Yang remained inside. The crowd exploded with shock. Was he even human? They had fought desperately just to survive while this boy had killed the beast and taken a nap. Yang Yang stood and turned to Elder Mo. "I know I'm just a low-ranking student, unqualified to question an examiner. But Teacher Wang has accused me without evidence, repeatedly. I can't accept that." Mo Yan bowed his head slightly. "We misjudged you. As for Wang Liang, he will be stripped of his examiner status and suspended to reflect on his actions." Panic flashed across Wang Liang's face. He fell to his knees and begged, "Elder Mo Yan, I was wrong. Please, forgive me." But it was too late. Mo Yan addressed the crowd. "Student Yang Yang's score for the second round is officially a perfect score. After a 30-minute break, the next test will begin." The students were speechless. Competing with this kind of monster? Was it even possible? Mo Yan, meanwhile, narrowed his eyes as he studied Yang Yang. Such terrifying strength. Could he be the one the higher-ups are searching for? Without delay, he turned to the monitoring teacher. "Send Yang Yang's results to the imperial capital." Meanwhile, in the imperial capital, inside the solemn halls of the National Fortune Temple, lords from various regions had gathered, seated in a circle beneath the golden dome. The air was thick with anticipation. The lord of the National Fortune Temple addressed them with a grave tone. "The assessments in each region have already completed 2 rounds. Has there been any sign of that mysterious beastmaster?" Wang Qing, the provincial lord of Jingzhou, was the first to respond. "In my region, All candidates performed as expected. I found no exceptional individuals. Qin Bai, representing Jinling, echoed a similar report. No abnormalities in my territory either. Everything proceeded normally. Li Yuan, another regional lord, spoke next. A strong candidate did emerge in my Modu region, but after investigation, it was confirmed he's not the one we're looking for. The lord of the National Fortune Temple leaned back slightly, disappointment flashing in his eyes. This was our best chance to find him. Qin Bai then raised a possibility. What if we've been looking in the wrong direction all along? Could it be that this mysterious individual isn't a student participating in this year's assessments? Those words darkened the atmosphere. If Qin Bai was right, the search might have been for nothing. But before the despair could take root, a messenger suddenly burst into the hall, breathless and urgent. My lords, a message has just arrived from Elder Mo. The temple lord turned sharply. What did he say? The messenger bowed and delivered the report. A monstrous talent has appeared in Longhai City, Jinling Province. Elder Mo suspects he may be the one. Qin Bai furrowed his brow. If Mo Yan is talking about old Zhou's daughter, Zhou Ying, you'll be disappointed. I've already checked. It's not her. But the messenger shook his head. No, not Zhou Ying. The candidate's name is Yang Yang. A ripple of confusion swept through the lords. Yang Yang? Never heard of him. The temple lord straightened, intrigued. Then tell us, why does Mo Yan believe this Yang Yang is the one we're looking for? The messenger replied promptly. In the first round, Yang Yang shattered both test statues in just 4 minutes and 28 seconds. And in the second round, he instantly killed the 100% damage-immune lava beast. The room fell silent in shock. Then realization struck. It must be him, someone whispered. Qin Bai laughed and pointed at the other lords. Let's see which of your grandsons dares to mock Jinling Province now. Li Yuan smirked. A pheasant turned phoenix overnight. You've truly become the big brother of the regions now. Wang Qing sighed in envy. Why can't someone like that appear in my province? The National Fortune Temple Lord raised his hand to quiet them. This is no time for banter. The priority now is to get to the Jinling Province examination site. Immediately, Qin Bai stood up eagerly, ready to set off, but the Temple Lord held him back. You stay here and guard the temple. The National Fortune Temple cannot be left unattended. Wang Qing and Li Yuan approached him teasingly. We'll go take a look first. Don't worry. You'll have plenty to see later. Qin Bai gritted his teeth, furious. You two just wait. Sometime later, at the rest area of the Jinling Province examination site, Elder Mo Yan stepped forward to welcome the esteemed guests, slightly startled by their sudden appearance. I wasn't informed of your arrival, he said respectfully. Please forgive me for the lack of formal welcome. Li Yuan waved his hand. No need for such courtesies. Just show us where this Yang Yang is. The group looked around, eager to lay eyes on the mysterious Beastmaster. Mo Yan turned and pointed outside. He's waiting for the third round to begin. Their eyes followed his hand. Yang Yang stood quietly near the edge of the testing field, calm and composed. The temple lord observed him closely, elegant and dignified. Truly, the hope of Longguo's future. Wang Qing, ever cautious, added, let's not jump to conclusions. There's still a third round to go. We can observe more then. The temple lord nodded in agreement and turned back to Elder Mo. Begin the third round. Mo Yan gave a firm nod and stepped forward to announce the start of the next test. Mo Yan stepped onto the stage, his presence commanding the attention of every student present. He raised his voice so all could hear. To prepare you for the powerful enemies you'll face as Beastmasters in the future, he announced. The final assessment will be fighting a calamity. The students gasped in shock. Fear swept across their faces. Face a calamity? When we're still rookies? Isn't that way beyond the curriculum? Sensing their panic, Mo Yan reassured them. Do not be afraid. The calamity is simulated through the AI main brain of the examination site. If potentially fatal damage is detected, you'll be teleported out instantly. Your safety is ensured. A wave of relief passed through the students. Mo Yan continued. For every minute you survive, you will earn 500 points. Last 10 minutes, and you receive a perfect score. Now, excitement replaced fear. Many students clenched their fists. This was their chance to flip the rankings. Those with defensive beasts were especially thrilled. This was their moment to shine. But Yang Yang remained calm, his sharp eyes focused. This wouldn't be as simple as it sounded. After finishing the explanation, Mo Yan activated the third test. In a flash, all students were teleported to their personal examination spaces, including Yang Yang. Inside his space, a terrifying beast emerged. A giant crocodile calamity stood before him, emanating overwhelming pressure. Yang Yang didn't hesitate. He immediately activated his detection technique. Level 16. He frowned. That was beyond Xingtian's instant kill destruction range. He'd have to grind it down the hard way. Without wasting another moment, he summoned Xingtian and Zhulong to attack. Meanwhile, inside the control room, the National Fortune Temple Lord and the regional lords closely watched Yang Yang's performance through the main screen. As Yang Yang summoned his beasts, the room fell into stunned silence. "That beast," murmured the Temple Lord, eyes narrowing. "It's identical to the newly born one sealed in the National Fortune Temple." But before anyone could respond, Li Yuan shouted, "Quick! Look, what did that kid just do?" The data flashed across the screen. 50,000 damage in a single strike on a calamity-level monster. Jaw after jaw dropped. What kind of monstrous talent does he possess to allow his beast to unleash such power? Wang Qing muttered in disbelief. The Temple Lord turned sharply. "Check his attribute panel, now." The monitoring teacher tapped rapidly on the console, but froze. "It's obscured," he said. "A mysterious force is concealing it. We can only see one thing. His talent rating, 3S rank. Everything else is locked." Wang Qing looked bewildered. "Why can't we access it?" The Temple Lord's voice lowered. "It means we don't have the authority to view it." A chilling silence settled over the room. Li Yuan's eyes widened. "Are you saying his beast seal quality has surpassed divine grade?" The Temple Lord slowly nodded. "When 12 light pillars lit up during his awakening, we thought it was the limit. But it wasn't his limit. Only the systems." The lords exchanged solemn glances. For a moment, their pride in Longguo overcame their shock. Their eyes misted over. "At last," one of them whispered, "someone worthy has appeared in our nation." Back in the test space, Yang Yang was pushing forward. "Just one more strike." He commanded Zhulong to attack. Flames roared from its mouth, dealing a devastating 40,000 damage, bringing the crocodile calamity crashing to the ground. Yang Yang exhaled, relieved. It's over finally. But just as he began to relax, a second wave of monsters suddenly appeared, surrounding him from all directions. His eyes widened. Another wave. Without hesitation, he summoned his dragon turtle and activated its aggro draw skill, redirecting the monster's attention away from him. Then he ordered Zhulong and Xingtian to strike from the flanks, launching a coordinated counterattack. Inside the control room, the Temple Lord remained quiet, watching intently. He was the one who had increased the test's difficulty, specifically for Yang Yang. Li Yuan raised an eyebrow. "Isn't it unfair to single him out?" The Temple Lord's voice was firm. "He carries the fate of reviving Longguo. He must be tested." "And his score?" Li Yuan asked. The Temple Lord turned, a small smile on his face. "The calamity has already been defeated. All 3 assessments, perfect scores." Meanwhile, within his test space, Yang Yang continued his fierce battle. A spider-like monster lunged from the shadows and managed to strike Yang Yang with a venomous needle. Blood dripped from his arm, but Yang Yang didn't even flinch. With calm precision, he activated Soul Tear, a terrifying ability that ripped the soul from the spider monster and sent it collapsing in an instant. Back in the control room, the National Fortune Temple Lord watched in awe. "What's with this kid?" he muttered. "He didn't even react after being hit by a poison needle." Li Yuan leaned forward. "Check the status logs, now." The monitoring teacher quickly ran diagnostics and gasped. "The AI main brain has determined he possesses a unique ability that transfers a portion of damage to his contracted beasts." Everyone in the room froze in disbelief. "He has a heaven-defying skill," one of them whispered. Just as the lords were marveling at Yang Yang's power, something unexpected happened. The simulated space around Yang Yang trembled. Cracks formed in the sky of his personal test zone, then shattered completely. A rift tore open. Through it stepped a mighty dragon beast, cloaked in spiraling space-time energy. Its sapphire blue scales shimmered under an eerie light as it slowly scanned the area, searching for something. The other monsters in Yang Yang's space vanished the moment this dragon arrived. It was as if they feared its very presence. Yang Yang stared, bewildered. Why are the monsters disappearing? Suddenly, the space in front of him twisted violently. A purple time-space portal opened, and the dragon emerged fully, now just meters away from him. Cautiously, Yang Yang used his detection technique, but the results left him stunned, all attributes unknown. His heart pounded. What is this thing? Before he could react further, the dragon lunged forward with unimaginable speed. Yang Yang narrowly dodged, but his eyes widened as he saw the beast tear open space itself with one strike. "This isn't a normal calamity," he muttered. "How could something like this appear in an exam? Something's not right." Back at the rest area, chaos erupted. The moment the dragon entered Yang Yang's test space, the monitoring screen went black, as if the system itself had crashed. "What happened?" Wang Qing shouted. "Call someone to fix it," We need to see what's going on. But before anyone could move, a loud explosion echoed from outside the examination hall. They all rushed out, only to see a woman in a long white robe descending from the sky, surrounded by divine light. It was Ziru-ge, one of the guardians of the mountain. The National Fortune Temple Lord stepped forward with respect. "Greetings, Lord Bai. To what do we owe the honor of your presence?" Her expression was urgent and focused. "Where is the young man?" Confused, the Temple Lord asked. "Which young man do you mean?" Lord Bai's eyes gleamed with seriousness. "The one you've just found. The talented youth. The one facing that dragon." The Temple Lord's expression changed immediately. Yang, he's inside his personal test space." Without another word, Lord Bai raised her hand and tore open the fabric of time and space, creating a portal that glowed with celestial light. "I'm going to get him," she said. And in a flash, she vanished, headed straight for Yang's battlefield. As Lord Bai stepped into Yang's personal test space, she was immediately greeted by a chaotic battlefield. Yang was in the middle of a fierce struggle against the dragon beast. His breathing was heavy, and sweat dripped from his forehead. The creature was overwhelmingly powerful. Had it not been for the dragon turtle's incredible resistance and the tenfold attribute boost granted by God's inspiration, Yang would have already lost his life. The dragon suddenly began charging up a devastating attack. A swirling mass of energy gathered at its mouth, aimed directly at Yang. Panicked, Yang realized he had no time to dodge. No beast was fast enough to intercept it. Instinctively, he raised his arm to shield his eyes. Before the blast could hit, he was forcibly ejected from his personal test space. He crashed to the ground just outside the simulation barrier, unscathed. Standing between him and the attack was Lord Bai, her presence calm, yet radiant with power. She turned to Yang. "Are you all right?" Yang nodded, catching his breath. "For saving my life." Inside the simulation space, the dragon beast let out a furious roar. "You ruined my plans." Lord Bai remained unfazed. Her tone was cold and commanding. "Return to the abyss now, and I may spare your life." The dragon let out a deep, mocking laugh. "Humans. Not much skill, but a lot of arrogance. Let's see how you plan to take my life." Lord Bai didn't answer. She simply raised her hand. A fierce wind howled as her wind dragon surged forward. The dragon beast roared in rage, unleashing its terrifying dragon breath. The two forces collided in the air, creating an explosion that shook the entire simulation dome. When the dust settled, Lord Bai's wind dragon had been slain, but the enemy dragon was gravely wounded. The dragon beast glared at her, stunned. "You sacrificed an SS-rank beast, just to save a child." Lord Bai smiled gently. "Now injured," the dragon beast snarled. "But know this body was merely a fragment of my soul. It means nothing to me. But mark my words, I'll tear you all to pieces." He disappeared into the abyssal void. Meanwhile, across the other testing spaces, all students were abruptly teleported back. Confused murmurs filled the examination field. "Why are we back already? Did the system crash? Was it a bug?" Some were visibly shaken, fearing they'd never return. Back at the battlefield, Lord Bai's body trembled. Having sacrificed her SS-rank beast and forced her own limits, she was growing weak. Yang noticed and quickly supported her. "Are you all right?" Lord Bai nodded with a tired smile. "I'm fine, but this isn't the place to talk. Let's move to the lounge." Realizing the gravity of the situation, Yang helped her walk, heading to a quiet resting chamber. Once inside, with silence surrounding them, Yang finally asked, "Lord Bai, what was that just now? What really happened?" Lord Bai looked at him seriously. "Do you remember what happened 10 years ago? When Great Xia lost 2 level 100 Saint Beast Masters while fighting creatures from the abyss?" Yang nodded slowly. "The Black Flood Dragon. It came from the abyss, didn't it?" Lord Bai's expression turned grave. "And now, it has set its sights on you." Yang's eyes widened. "Why? I've never done anything to it." "It's not about what you've done," Lord Bai replied. "It sensed the threat you pose to its existence. And so, it wants to eliminate you while you're still young, before you grow into your full potential." Yang's voice was low, uncertain. What kind of threat could possibly be to a creature like that? Lord Bai leaned forward. "It's because of the beasts you've summoned. In J Country, a Beastmaster awakened Yamata no Orochi. He single-handedly cleared every wormhole dungeon in the nation. In K Country, one summoned the Ghost Cultivation Mountain, dispelling all the mist-shrouded forbidden zones. With 3 SSS-rank beasts, if you mature, you will surpass both of them. If you were an abyss creature, what would you do?" Yang didn't hesitate. "Strike first, before the threat grows." Lord Bai nodded solemnly. "Exactly. That's why your future will be dangerous. From now on, you must hide your strength. Don't casually reveal your beast seals, your talents, or your capabilities." Yang nodded in understanding, but deep in his heart, He knew. Hiding forever wasn't a solution. With a spark of resolve in his eyes, he said, "Once I enter Tianlong Academy and become the strongest beastmaster, I won't fear the abyss anymore." Lord Bai looked at him, smiling warmly. "You truly have ambition, Yang Yang." That's all for today, everyone. Before we wrap up, I want to let you know that we've recently launched a membership program here, where you can enjoy perks like early access to videos and soon, exclusive content just for members. You'll also receive custom badges and emojis to enhance your interactions. If you're interested, consider joining our membership to enjoy these benefits. Check out the link in the description to join. See you all in the next video.